Welcome to the Mid-Ohio Rock Show, folks. We're on location doing something for the Shawshank Trail. I'm Tommy, by the way.
And I'm producer Ryan.
Hi, producer Ryan. You can get a hold of Ryan by simply looking at whatever he puts down here. Maybe like Godzilla.
Mid-Ohio Rock Show. All the stuff that you need to know. What's going on with the Mid-Atlantic? Where the rock is in the heartland. Mid-Ohio Rock Show.
Hey, welcome to the Mid-Ohio Rock Show. I'm Tommy Barnes.
And I'm Ronnie Hughes. How you doing?
Hey, man, it's been a great summer, Ronnie, but here we are back doing some more second season.
Yeah, second season. Live at Planet Rock.
Yeah, what a fun night we got. We got these juveniles behind us.
Yes.
By the way, I invented Post-it notes, just so you know. This is the cheat sheet. This, by the way, is my well-groomed thumbnail.
And we got the main event, Rosie.
That's right, Mark Chatfield. Man, I remember interviewing that guy like 20 years ago, back in the day when he was with the Gods and stuff, and how cool it is that maybe, 8-9 years ago, run into you, and then a couple years later, the Commerce Center, Ronnie, the Gods, is playing with him as well. And you got a chance to actually tour with Mark, I guess, over in Amsterdam, right?
We got to go to Europe together. Great time. Got to hang out and had a good time. We were just talking a little while ago, some stories about the Amsterdam.
Yeah, you know what they do in Amsterdam, don't you? Something we can't do here. Folks, so let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. I'm Tommy Barnes, of course. This is the Mid-Ohio Rock Show. Into our second season. Ronnie, I can't believe it, man. It's been a great summer hanging out. And tell you what, introduce this cat next to me here.
Mark Chatfield.
of ROSIE. That would be me.
You can drop this.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, Mark, man, such a great career. I mentioned to you just kind of off camera here a bit ago, my 22, 23 years in radio. You and I chatted like 20 years ago, and I'm thinking back to all the thousands of interviews that I've probably done and you've probably done. I don't remember crap about it.
My memory fades also. Like I said, those were still the drinking years, so I have selective. I remember the really non-important things.
Well, you know what's really cool for me is I grew up in Kentucky, but kind of grew up in Peoria, Illinois. So the Gods was, rock and roll machines, middle 70s. I got out of high school in 75. I mean, that was rock music to us. And then so many years later, Ronnie and I become friends, and then all of a sudden he's playing in the Gods so many years later. So pretty cool. Yeah, exactly.
Trying to fill his shoes.
I don't have real big feet, don't worry.
All right, everybody show their feet.
Yeah.
There we go.
Size 11.
Anyway, Ronnie, I guess you guys actually got a chance, not too many,
2004. It was almost 8 years ago.
Yes, Mark became actually one of the guys that had passport problems. We were going to Amsterdam, and they called Mark up and said, and we hopped on a plane, and the rest is history. We had a good time so far.
Young, my parents always preached to me, get your education, boy, you got to have a degree. Go get yourself a job, find yourself a good wife. Do what we say, knowing you'll be set for life. All them things, but then I threw them all away. Started having lots of fun, getting messed up every day. Well, I've been getting clearer, I don't know what's up ahead. Trying to keep it together so I don't understand. Fine on 7-1 boys, got me trip on out the door. Feeling fine on 7-1 boys, burning up my mind.
We do a feature on Middle Ohio Rock and Roll, Ronnie's Rock and Roll, down at the Mansfield downtown. There's this like 3-door vault, and Ronnie goes in and grabs one of his really old cool vintage guitars. So with downtown guitars, man, I'm sure you've got some amazing stories. Any one particular guitar stand out that you got from a rock or something to play or anything of that nature?
Well, there's a lot that I love to play. I actually went to Amsterdam. It's like, when I go out on tour, my favorite guitar I do not take anymore. It's a Black Les Paul that I've had since 1976, I believe. It was right when the Gods first formed, and I actually played that the whole first Gods album was that guitar. I didn't use any other guitar but that one. Its nickname was Meat. I've had it ever since. I've used it virtually every tour until 5 years ago, and I decided to kind of retire the guitar because nothing's ever really happened to it, and I don't want anything to happen to it. I hope quick guitar story, I guess. I've owned a lot of really cool guitars, and I can't remember all of the great stuff. But for those that aren't familiar with vintage guitars, 1958, 59, and 60 Sunburst Gibson Les Pauls are like the holy grail. Yeah, there was one point during the peak where they were up to 500,000 plus dollars. Well, the Gods were on the first tour in Galveston, Texas, and of all places, and we were staying at the Holiday Inn there. And after one of the shows, I was at the bar at in the hotel, and I was just talking to some guy about music, and I said, "Oh, you play guitar, blah blah blah." And he goes, "Well, man, I tell you what, I have a guitar that you might want." I said, "Okay." And he goes, "Well," and the Holiday Inn in Galveston is right on the bay, so he lived on a boat behind the hotel. So I go over. He says, "Come tomorrow morning and take a look." So I go over there and I open up the case, and it's a 1960 Sunburst Les Paul. And I said, "Yeah, that's something I might want." They were going for a lot of money back then. I think $3,500 was probably the peak of it. So he goes, he'd seen us play. And he goes, I really like that Black Gibson Explorer you have. He says, how about that, like $1,000? And I think that's about all the money I had in my name at that point. So I gave him my guitar at $1,000, and he says, now, since you bought it, I'll show you where that guitar came from. And he pulls out a picture, a Polaroid. For those of you that remember Polaroids, what's that? And there's a picture of him, Greg Allman, Dwayne Allman, like 3 Allman Joys, their kids. And Dwayne is playing that guitar. And he wouldn't give me the picture, so you have nothing but my word on it. And then I ended up years and years later selling that guitar to a guy named Alan Rogan, who, for those that don't know guitar techs, he is tech for Eric Clapton for years, David Gilmour, Mick Ralphs, you name it. He sold that guitar to Pete Townsend, who owned it for quite a while, who sold it to Mick Ralphs, who owned it for quite a while. So it's made its round. So there's my cool guitar story that you'll have to edit down to half of it.
Okay. Well, take us back into guys getting that thing going with Eric back in the day, and then Rosie. Talk about Rosie and the whole formation of that. And
Okay.
you guys really never quit playing. I know there's been reunion things, Thanksgiving kind of stuff going on over the years, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's basically the Gods formed around '76. I was working at a music store right out of high school called Whitey Loves Ours in Columbus, which was downtown. It was like a big place. And I met Glenn Caroline and Eric Moore through that. They were in a band called Sky King. They were playing really good cover tunes, good girl singer. They were packing the clubs. And they heard me play one day, and Eric came to me and said, I got this concept for a band, and it's going to be called The Gods. I said, are you interested? And I said, why not? So there was a band out of Parkersburg, West Virginia called Kingsley Fink, and we ended up, the original lineup with Mike and Hayward, the 2 guys that built the cars. Not long after we formed, but we actually, the Gods originated with 2 drummers. We had Glenn Caroline and Hayward Law on drums, and Mike Adams also played keyboards and guitar. Unfortunately, like I said, they were killed in a car accident. Right before they were going to pick up our contracts that we had made, and they never returned. So we kind of sat around for a little bit. Then Eric had played with Bob Hill in the Capital City Rockets, who were on Electric Records. And Bob was also in Sky King, so Bob was the obvious replacement and came into the band. So during this time, a little funny anecdote to go with this, I was working at Whitey Lunsar's in Ohio State. And I walked in and told my parents, I said, well, I'm quitting my job and I'm quitting college, both on the same day to join a band called The Gods. Imagine how that was. Yeah, that was they wanted to call it Exorcist, but so anyway, The Gods go on and do the first album, which was good, nice successful tour, and yada 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 yada. We do the second album, which didn't do very well. The songs weren't very good. We didn't have time to prepare. Our producer walked out on us, and blah 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 blah. Played a few dates after that album came out, and Glenn and Bob kind of decided, because of the politics between our manager and our record company and some internal things, that they were leaving the band. So they left the band, and Eric and I stayed together and hired Bob Callahan and Rick Hall. I can't remember the name of the band that they were in, Cornerstone in Columbus, and I'd seen them, and I knew Bob before that. So we asked them to join, and it just kind of, we just did clubs. Eric had broken his leg, so he had to sit down and play. He bought a new fast motorcycle and had it for one day and wrecked it going 10 miles an hour down an exit ramp. So if there's any colorful stories to go with those aren't true. 10 miles an hour, flip that sucker over off an exit ramp. So he was playing sitting down, and it was just deteriorating quickly. So Bob and Rick and I were actually kind of writing songs together during sound checks, because Eric wouldn't come to them. I was playing bass and we were kind of writing songs. And truth be known, Eric fired everybody, sent everybody letters, and fired the band, and went on his own. So Bob and Rick and I got their bass player, a guy named Dennis Craig from Cornerstone, and that was the original Rosie, which was called Streetheart, not Rosie. We changed the name. I got it from a Bobby Darin in a record collecting catalog. I thought it was a cool name, but then we come to find out that Paul Dean from Loverboy had a band called Streetheart in Canada, and there were albums out under that name, so we dropped it. And the Rosie story is Rick Hall actually came up with the name when we were looking for a name, and we always had that Rosie Palmer and her 5 sisters joke going, and he just said, "How about Rosie?" Going, okay. For those of you who don't know what that is, you'll figure it out. Anyway, we did that. Bob and I were the original singers, and that wasn't going too well. I'm a terrible lead vocalist. I can do okay backgrounds, but not a good lead vocalist. So we hired a guy named Butch Trinkle from Washington, D.C. that one of our crew guys knew, and he came and sang, and we just pretty much did some originals, did cover tunes, shopping some stuff around, but not real strong material. And just like a lot of bands, there was an internal struggle, and we weren't getting along. We were going nowhere. And I had met Bobby and Carl in a band called Smoke that used to come up from Atlanta and play in Columbus. Really good band. But they weren't happy there, and actually Robert was in the band too. They weren't happy there, and I wasn't happy with my band, and they broke up. And I ended up getting Carl's number and calling him down in Louisville, saying, I'm losing my guys. You know my band, I know your band. Why don't you go? Let's see. So Dennis and I, jammed with them a couple of times, and it just clicked. We didn't really have any originals except the stuff I had written at that point. But the covers we were doing, we did a lot of really cool covers. We went into the UFO stuff, and some stuff that not a lot of top 40 kind of bands do. And we stayed like that for quite a while. We ended up being coerced into playing this. Philip Morris or one of those companies were doing these Battle of the Bands all over the United States.
R.J. Reynolds.
R.J. Reynolds, that was it. So we were already set up at the Columbus Agora because we played there before. They coerced us into being in the Battle of the Bands, which we had no interest in. And we won. So anyway, we end up in the National Battle of Bands, which is in Florida, and there's like 38 bands from all over the country in there. We just go down there to have a good time, play our gig, and blah, blah, blah. Well, we end up winning that, beat all these other bands.
So ultimately, R.J. Reynolds supported your first release, though.
They paid for the EP, yes. They paid for the EP, which did, and during that time, QFM, the station in Columbus, were doing their first hometown album, and they said, record something for it. We have the opening spot for you guys.
That was the basement tapes, I'm thinking.
Is that what it was called?
Something like that. Yeah, they had a series of albums or CDs they put out.
Every year they do with local bands.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. Sorry, I forgot your name. That song for that. So we, when we went to Florida and won that thing, before we did the record, we ended up staying down there for almost 3 months and doing the whole club circuit down there. I don't know, it seems like it might have been fun. I don't really remember, but and the money was crap. But playing Spring Break, who cares? It's a bar. But what I do know about it is playing 4 or 5 sets a night, sometimes matinees during the day for Spring Break, made us get really, really good. We didn't realize how good and tight we got until we came back to Columbus and people would just stand there with their jaws open, because we'd just gotten that much tighter from doing all that.
By the time this is already aired, I know tomorrow night we're here at Planet Rock in Mansfield tonight, but tomorrow night you guys are going to play UFC down in Columbus, and I get all of our concert tickets for the radio station. That's one of my favorite bands.
I've never been there.
It's an indoor outdoor stage. It's just an awesome place.
Let me backtrack. I've been to the outdoor one. I saw Ted Nugent there. I ran into Ryan a few weeks ago.
Exactly.
And I saw Ted Nugent there, but I've never been to the indoor one. Hey, there's Carl Sheeler.
Hey, what's up?
We're taping this, so sit down.
You're live.
Welcome
to the Middle Rock Show. Hey, I'm Tommy with a Fox radio station. Nice to meet you.
So we've gotten up to the Battle of the Band, winning the Battle of the Bands, and doing the EP.
Oh, but
so
did you talk about our intro tape?
No.
We used Jaws.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that in Florida. That's right.
The Van Halen's PA set up.
Oh,
we used Jaws as an intro tape. People were running down the beach going, hold on! Sharks in the water.
I forgot all about that. Maybe that's why we won, because we were original. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, we really appreciate you hanging out here for the Middle Ohio Rock Show and stuff.
Well, actually, no problem.
You're doing great. No, it's great though. You take a few minutes to talk.
No problem.
All right, folks. Once again, guys from Rosie, thanks for hanging out with us, Middle Ohio Rock Show.
LC tomorrow night, which has already happened.
Yeah, exactly. Go to promowestlive.com. They'll have video of these guys probably on their TV show, so check that out.
Come here and see me again.
seated.
See how he treats an old man. Where am I going? Where am I going?
I'm a bastard.
Show